wasn't until years later on TikTok when I heard other survivors of DV tell me that their partners tried to make them shower with them all the time or insisted on it. I didn't realize that that was part of the abuse, that that was a control tactic, and that that is a very dangerous sign. So if you have a partner who is doing with this, here's you turn the shower on and it's like, what are you doing? And insists on showering with you under the guise of, oh, it's romantic and it's what we do. That is control, and you are in a dangerous situation. It is not cute. The reason why I want to talk about this is my mutual, I'm going to tag her. She made this viral video about how it wasn't until she got on TikTok and heard other stories from women in her comments. Yeah, like I can't tell you how many women realize because of TikTok and YouTube and these platforms where women are just sharing stories that they are in an abusive relationship. TikTok is literally what taught me that that was a part of my abuse story. I just was like, yeah, it's kind of weird that he always wanted me to shower with him. If I had known that was a red flag, I may have gotten out sooner. So when we try to tell you that your husband sending dog food and like this whole thing that was a joke, again, if he had actually sent an actual lunch or sent as a joke and then also sent, Uber Eats or some crap or whatever those things are, maybe it'd be funny. But okay, getting ahead of myself. This is the account I first saw this on. I'm going to tag this account because I hadn't seen this video, but him calling this weird is right on. And people are going to share their stories online all the time. And you know what? I know it is embarrassing when someone points out to you that what your partner is doing is abusive. I know it's embarrassing. I know the instinct or, just the natural thing to do is to be like, wait, what? And maybe get defensive, because usually a lot of times it's because there's a small part of you that knows it's true, but also because so much is on the line. If you're married to them, if your finances are attached to them, if you have children with them, if you have all these ifs, the higher the stakes, the harder it's going to be to leave. Luckily, I'd only been dating this little hobo for, 9 months or so before I got out. So I can only imagine how hard it is to realize that you are with a man who hates you because he's trying to control you. And he doesn't love you, and he may actually try to take your life. I understand that is a very, very hard thing to come to. And what my mutual talks about is the fact that not only is it hard for women to realize this on themselves because of their own, how they were raised, what they saw, what was normalized within their home, but then their community oftentimes reinforces this message that that's just what men do. There's nothing wrong with that. Or maybe that's weird and that's not okay, but like, do you really want to leave? You really want to break up the family and all that crap that people say, especially women. Women will convince you to stay in dangerous relationships, maybe even more than men will, because we're all been mined for. So this whole thing with the sister, I don't know if you've been keeping up. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I already made a video on it. But like her sister comes in, the older sister that allegedly, I haven't seen the video, but it's been going around that she wasn't necessarily the best, maybe has bullied her younger sister. She's living with the sister, her and the husband were in on this, but of course the people who are in bad relationships, dangerous relationships, or, who maybe are in good relationships, but like are delusional about don't know the red flags, or they're just so scared of you breaking with the status quo or disrupting the family holidays or whatever it is behind their own selfish motive to keep you in an abusive relationship. Those people are the ones who will keep you, they will literally hold a microphone to all of your indoctrination, all of your own self-gaslighting. And what you need when you are, the only way I believe that women sometimes have a chance of getting out of these relationships is if they have one friend, one sister, one person, or someone at work or support group, or literally just one person who anchors them to the truth and holds a microphone to their intuition. That's like, something's fucked up about this. Something seems wrong about this. And they're like, yeah, that's wrong. Why is he like, my husband would never do that. Or I've never had that happen to me. That's weird. Huh? Because we will not question it if everyone in our life is like, or especially if their husbands pack stupid lunches that are full of half-eaten snacks just to be like, you. Or if their partners make them shower with them, it is not cute to shower with your partner all the time. Let me tell you what. Actually, before I do, of course, this is why this is so hard, because every time a woman makes one of these videos, This is so hard because I try so bad to not to put myself in her shoes, because even realizing that my ex was abusive in private was hard. It's so hard in private to learn that, or within just your tiny community, within your little local community, within maybe your church if you're into that, or whatever, within your family, to come to terms with the fact that your partner is violent, hates you, might take your life, is abusive, whatever. That is such a hard truth to come to that truth on the internet. I can't imagine. That's why I really appreciate my mutual who told her story about having to come to that realization like this. So it doesn't surprise me that there's almost always a follow-up video to a cute little story that it's like, we're happy. What are you talking about? That's going to defend him. That's going to be cannot handle that information. The seed may have been planted, but that thing will not, there's no sunlight for it. There's no way that can be anything other than a seed. Not now. The seed's still there though. But right now that seed cannot grow into anything other than the stupid seed from the stupid internet people, these miserable, cat ladies who want everyone to divorce. Even when happily married women say, this is not right. Whatever. It doesn't matter. They're not ready to hear it. The seed is still there. What this work we do, or we talk about this stuff, it matters. That seed is still there. And it may not grow into anything, that little seed of doubt. And it's just like what Daniela, the knitting cult lady, talks about with cults. It's a cult of one. It's a cult of one. It takes a while to get out of that cult, right? But if there's a little crack or a little seed, maybe within the right environment, the right, circumstances, something, that seed might grow, and she might leave, and she may not die or just want to die, which seems like the same fate on many levels. So when there's always a defense video, my heart goes out to this person, and then I also get mad because sometimes they troll so hard and they're so mean to people who are like, this is messed up, right? And also, there's always going to be some people who want to see that all relationships are abusive, right? When I got out of my abusive relationship, I had a really hard time believing any love could exist anywhere, because that was a self-protective place I had to be, where all men are rapists, all of them. I had to go through that phase of believing that so that I could just stay away from them for a while. But eventually, came out of that place. But it was a good place for me to be on, right? So while there are people out there who are just always looking for every single thing to be like, oh, you're in an abusive relationship, that's usually coming from a place of experience, maybe near death experience. And I understand why that reaction happens, right? But usually what people are calling out is wrong is it's messed up. The dog food thing is bad, but the shower thing, I am telling you, that is not just, oh, he hates you. That man is controlling you in one of the most personal, intimate things you can do, which is, and sometimes the only time you have alone other than taking a dump, the only guaranteed time that you could have alone is in the shower, other than taking a dump. Maybe changing your diva cup, right? I don't know. But what also makes me crazy is couples content. This marriage couples humor stuff, where I was like, wait, is this a joke? Or is this someone in an abusive relationship who doesn't know they're in one? Either way, it drives me crazy. I can't figure it out. I don't know if this is a joke or not. But their page says couple comedy. So I'm guessing all these are skits, which then makes this even worse, because you're making fun of something that is literally a serious sign of DV. Because for me, I had never been in a relationship before. And by the way, I talk about this story where me and Ms. Aisha do an awesome interview or a therapy session, basically, on the Risk podcast. I'm going to link it in I'm going to tag Risk and link it in the comments. That video that they posted on their account had a million views almost. And I couldn't read the comments anymore. I had to leave it alone because it was like, oh my God, everything is abuse. Yeah, this is a big abuse because my ex that I'm talking about, that was the first like boyfriend I ever had. I didn't really date or even think about seriously dating until I was like 36. This is my first boyfriend. I didn't know what couples do. By the way, for those who are asking, he's okay. He's not great. We're waiting for this antibiotics to kick in, but he is alive. He has a serious infection because of those patches on your elbows. One of them got infected, and now he's just like bleeding out pus and all this crap. Is disgusting. And it's scary, but whatever. He's okay for right now. I'll keep y'all updated. Anyway, I did not know what it looked like to be in a healthy relationship. I didn't know what relationships. So I thought, oh, this is what I saw in the movies. People, they go on vacation together. They eat meals together, I guess. They shower together, I guess, because this is what he wants to do all the time. And at first I thought it was cute. How romantic. Oh, yeah, we shower together. I've seen this in movies, right? But then I just kind of got annoyed because I like to take long showers. I like to take super hot showers. And also this was like, this is New Mexico, Taos. Like water pressure is not great there because water, which is going to become as valuable as gold, especially with these data centers going everywhere. Please stop using AI unless you absolutely have to. Sorry, I'm going to throw that into every video ever because we're in such a bad, dangerous situation with water. And also the air. Google Memphis data center if you want to know more. Anyway, the shower was not strong. It was, so I needed to be close to that shower head thing. Sharing a shower with another person is, it makes that complicated. I remember freezing. Instead of showers being fun and pleasure, like not fun, but I love showers. That's the moment when I think of some of my biggest ideas. Usually I have my phone nearby. So if I have an idea for a story, I'll have it by it and I can just like voice record it or whatever. Just like driving and other kind of like meditative things. Showering gives me a moment to I start processing things and thinking about things. And that man never let me alone. I didn't have time away from him where he wasn't blowing up my phone other than in the shower. And so, of course, he's in the shower all the time. So now not only do I have to end up having to like fork someone while I'm showering, which again, at first I was all about because, of course he was good at eating. But it didn't take long for him to being an amazing lover to a terrible lover and unbelievably selfish. But yeah, so the shower became about being cold, being frustrated, and begging to be able to sit under stand under the shower thing again. And also like having to fork. Didn't know that any of that was about a control tactic. The only time I could shower without him is if he literally wasn't home. So that's when I tried to like shower more, was when he wasn't home. Right? And there was no rule. It wasn't announced. Like, these women have rules. Like, it's such a thing that their husbands are like, kind of like, better. What are you doing? This wasn't even a spoken rule with us. It was just this thing where he never let me shower without. And then also, he was peeing on me in the shower. Didn't realize until TikTok that is a thing that a lot of abusers do. They piss on you in the shower. I caught him doing it. I was like, oh my God. Wait, is he doing this all the time? This man hated me so much he loved like marking me, pissing on me, urinating on me. Unless it's a kink, that's disgusting and nobody wants that, right? And so the shower ended up being the stage in which a lot of this abuse was happening that I didn't even know was abuse because it's always about control. He controlled me at work by texting me at work and, like watching me and all this stuff. He controlled me in all these other places because he'd blow up my phone. He was stalking me too. But the shower is where he controlled me so much in my own home. He also controlled would pressure me into the point where it was so hard to say no that I'd do it anyway, into eating meat, even though I was a vegetarian. Man, I had a whole deal how he went and got elk soup for me. He made elk soup and this big deal. And I'm like, what? This isn't for me though. Like, I'm a vegetarian. Why am I excited? I don't really eat elk in general. Before I stopped eating meat, but it was for me. I want y'all to understand how intentional all this is. And so I didn't realize just how intentional this was, just how predatory these men are. How they are so far ahead of you. They are thinking so much farther down the line than you can even imagine. I didn't even realize it until I talked to Ms. Aisha, my mutual. She's awesome, by the way. If you're not following her, please do yourself a favor. But her and I talking on the Risk podcast, going over my story, where I told it on the Risk podcast like 7 years ago or something, maybe longer. And then we both listened to it, and then we discussed it. And I tell that story very differently today because of what I've learned on the internet, because of what I've learned from listening to other women with the same experiences. How do these men all have the same book? How do they all know to do this? Like, like Bourbon Bushi says, the dust is global, man. How do they all know how to do this? They're not talking to each other. Some of them are. I mean, now that they've got, chats, Italian Telegraph chats full of the, like they can all talk. But like, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google that. Like they do talk to each other, but how is it that they're doing the exact same thing in countries where there's some of them have like not even much cultural stuff in common? They all just know to do it. They all just know to do it. And we didn't realize how calculated it is, how intentional it is, and how it is a part of a strategy to beat you down so that you're never alone. You're never away from them. They're in your everything. They are in your head all the time. They have you worrying about them all the time. They have you gaslighting yourself all the time. They have you walking on eggshells all the time. And they know that you can't do anything without them finding out about it or somehow forking it up or whatever. And the shower, if I had known what a huge red flag that was, because I had access to stories like these, which is why I do this. One of the reasons why. Sharing information, help you not feel as crazy and alone. You're not crazy if you think it's fucked up that you have to shower with this dude, right? But if I had known what a huge red flag that was in terms of control, I may have gotten out way sooner and not almost died. Then again, whatever. You could die at any point, no matter how long you're with them. But it may not have escalated to the point it did, or would have at least recognized how much danger I was in, so I would have been more careful, and even in getting out. Because like the last time that I almost showered this man, and then I'm going to wrap this up, was the day that I was basically leaving town. My friend Annie came all the way down from Alaska to get me out. Thank God she helped get me out. I had people who knew about it, I had a whole community behind me helping me get out. And we were packing up my place, and I told them, we're going to be together. I'm just going to California. There's this job. You can join me, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't have an Oscar, but I swear I feel like I should, given the level of performance. Man, I gave Oscar-worthy acting performances those last several weeks with him. I hated this man so much, but I mean, just playing it, but they smelled something. He knew something was up. And that last day, even with my friend Annie there, he still was like, all right, let's go shower. And I was like, I was so angry at him. I was like, no. And I remember being like showering alone for the first time with that man in my house. I felt like this is an act of defiance. I felt like I had just done something so big and brave to just get in the shower without him. I didn't even realize until I felt that proud of myself that that's a little messed up. That this is my act of resistance, is getting in the freaking shower alone. But I didn't want to fork him. And I knew if I was in the shower with him, he'd want to fork me. And I hated him. I didn't want to be graped. So I was like, got in that shower by myself. And that is the day he tried to run us off the road. That is the day he later, when I was trying to move furniture and stuff, because I kept trying to play it cool, almost drove me off a cliff. I was like twice that day. And the day started off with me saying no to a shower. Maybe I should have just taken that shower, and then he wouldn't have known something was up. But I didn't. And I think that's how he knew. This bitch is leaving. Oh, I'm going to make this hard for her. Please, please, please just listen to us when we tell you this. Especially if you have a bunch of people around you. He, him, they, she, her, they. Beyond gender, people will often convince you to stay if they are dealing with the same thing, or they don't know any better, or that you are part of a community that really bullies women into staying with men. A lot of times it's the church. It's the church a lot of times. But I'm telling you, if everyone in your life is like, no, it's no big deal, and you hear one person online who's like, I don't know, this isn't right. please let that seed be planted. And just know that that very seed will be the first step to you saving your life, getting out of this cult. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you can relate to this. Let me know if you have any resources or any advice for anybody who's going through this. Love to share resources and stuff right here. Please like, comment, share. Join my Patreon if you really like my stuff. That's why I share much more personal stories, especially things that are going on right now. I also have watch parties, lives. I have a live on Thursday with one of my mutuals. We're going to talk about storytelling, how we turned shit into gold and just the healing power of creativity. And also all kinds of stuff. She's amazing. Travel content, all kinds of stuff. But either way, thank you for being here. Thank you for being in this community. Like, comment, share, hit the notifications, and let me know if you heard the comment song. I like to always leave on a lighter note, so this isn't too much. And send good vibes to our little baby. Right, Mose? Oh, there he is. He's gonna be okay. Gonna be okay. I hope. We just have to get some more pus out of him, apparently. Ugh. This is my favorite parade in Lyon. Every 2 years, the dancing parade. It's amazing. A steamboat floats in the parade, and dancers all over Lyon in costumes. Look at this. Seriously. This is the parade that made me decide I wanted to stay in Lyon 7 years ago, because it's just so freaking cool. And I'm going to do a long video on Patreon with stuff from this amazing dance parade. Look, it's bicycles pushing this float. Look at them bicycles, paddle, 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 paddle. This dance parade and other stuff is the stuff I feature on Patreon, along with lives and personal stories and travel and other stuff. Go on over there if you want to support my work. This is the dance parade. Join my Patreon if you can.